Hello YouTube, just bringing you a short video today. I'm going to go out in the woods in a minute and do a little bit about those tarp tighteners and a little bit about structural ridge lines and sagging my hammock. But before I went out, I just thought I'd show you the how the knife that me and John forged in the fire is getting on. I took my Dremel to it and sandpaper, and yeah, that's what it looks like now. I've left quite a wide edge on it, just so that it doesn't warp when we heat treat and quench it. You can see, compared to the spine of the blade, there's still a good bevel on there. I tried to bevel it from just pretty much there, so it's kind of like a flat grind almost. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's me, just arrived at my day camp. I'm going to set up my hammock and show you a couple of things. Just thought I'd show you some of the frost, a little bit of snow left on the ground as well. It's been cold over the past few days. I'm hoping it's going to last. Yeah, I'm hoping it's going to last and get down to a pretty decent minus figures. Before I get into this, I'd like to take a couple of minutes just to thank everyone, really. Thank all the people who've just subscribed to my channel over the last few weeks, and everybody who's subscribed in general. You're all fantastic and I appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I'd like to also give a big special thanks and shout out to Carlisle195. John, you're a legend. If it wasn't for you, you know, I don't think my channel would be half as progressed along as it is now. So yeah, just thank you to everyone. I hope you're enjoying my channel. I take as much time out of my day as I can to answer your questions and comment back to things. And yeah, feel free to ask me anything in the future. You know, if I don't have information on it myself, I can easily point you in the direction of places that will have information on it, and anything I do know, I'll be happy to share my knowledge with. So yeah, thanks again. If you haven't subscribed already, feel free to subscribe and comment, like my videos, all the rest of that YouTube jazz. Yeah, take it easy. Here's my hammock set up without my structural ridge line. When you don't have a structural ridge line in, the hammock wants to be in quite a level kind of fashion, and when you lie in it, the sides will gather around you quite an amount. So I'll put the ridge line in, and this is my structural ridge line, all wrapped up. It's just 2 sticks with a bit of 550 paracord, the Webtex green army paracord. I haven't once changed out this bit of paracord. It's never snapped on me, and neither have either of these sticks. Now, considering they take a percentage of my body weight, keeping the 2 ends of the hammock together, I'm pretty impressed that they haven't ever snapped. If I can do this one-handed, I'll show you the simple process. The way I have my hammock gathered at the ends with some of the original webbing from a carabiner, my stick is like a toggle, and there's the hole for the toggle, and it just snugs round the back. Straighten that out. It's all very hard to do one-handed there. It snugs in the back of that loop, and it'll never pop out on you in the night. And then you just take the other end all the way across to this end of your hammock, and you can see that that's that ridge line stretched out as far as it will go, and there's still maybe half a foot of space I think the calculation that the internet gives me is a structural ridgeline should be 80% or 83% or something the length of your hammock. So my hammock's 3 meters long. I made my ridgeline 2 meters and like 70 centimeters or something long. So there's about 30 centimeters left of the length of my hammock. And then you just pull. If I can do this one-handed, I'll be amazed. You pull this end up and hook the other end of your ridgeline through like that, and then pull it in. Come on, hands, don't fail me. It's obviously a lot easier to do than this when you've got both of your hands free there, and that just does exactly the same thing and just stays on the back of the knot. And there you can see instantly my hammock takes on that shape, that 45 degree from the tree down to the apex of the hammock, and then the same up to the other side. I've not needed to loosen or tighten my my whoopee slings or anything like that, and now my hammock's in the diagonal fashion that I like it. So when you're lying diagonally, your head will be here and your feet will be way out in this corner. I'll see if I can get in and show you what I mean. There are my feet, pointed right out in that corner. I don't know how much of me you can see, but yeah, I'm pretty straight in the hammock, completely really flat. This way you don't get any strain in the back of your knees, and I don't get bad shoulders. And yeah, this ridgeline is, you know, not really tight, but tight enough to get a note out of. It just means I'm really comfortable. Aye, so there you go, Craig. I hope you found that useful. I hope it kind of explained to you a bit better about structural ridgelines, about what the crack with mine is and why I have my hammock all saggy. It's a comfort thing, yeah. Anyway, the next thing I'm going to talk about is a few people were asking me about these things, the tarp tightener thingies. Yeah, they're 3-hole tarp tensioners, or 3-hole guyline tensioners in the UK, and in America you can find them simply by Google searching loopalien.com, and they have a website. But yeah, they're a bit harder to find in the UK on the internet. I didn't actually get these off the internet. I was lucky enough to bum them off John, because he didn't have any use for them. He always used his bungee cords for his tarp. So yeah, I'm gonna rig up my 3x3 tarp just because it's a bit smaller for this space between these two trees, and it'll give me a little extra room on the paracord to fix these on and show you how they work. The reason I really like having a ridgeline on my hammock, when I come to set my tarp up, I can just drape it over the ridgeline of my hammock, and I can stand back and go, yep, I'm gonna set my tarp up in a minute, and just leave it there and it's fine, rather than, you know, one end having to be on the ground or having to get somebody else to hold it while you're doing this end. Yeah, it's a lot simpler. Right, if I can do this one-handedly, it should prove to you that they're really easy to set up. So here goes. This is my constant ridgeline for my tarp. Constant ridgeline goes all the way along, and I've got a prusik loop on either end, just so I can slip my tarp up and down my ridgeline. First of all, what you do is you take a kink in your ridgeline. Luckily I've got it looped over there, so it shouldn't be too hard. And you put, if you've got thinner line than this paracord, you can use the little hole, but paracord's a bit thick for the little hole, so I use the medium hole. That's the little hole, that's the medium hole, and that's the big hole. Pretty self-explanatory. Right. I realised that I wasn't particularly good at showing you how to attach one of these to your actual ridgeline when I was out in the woods. Being one-handed is really not very easy. So yeah, here I am. I've got a bit of paracord. If you can imagine the trees here, this is my ridgeline going across my tarp. You make a kink. This is how you first attach one of these to your ridgeline. You make a kink and you pass it through the medium hole like that, and then with your loop you put it over the whole body of the 3-hole tarp tensioner and pull it tight, like as if you've lark's headed it on. And then when you have it set up like that, you know, it's attached. There, that's it attached to my ridgeline. Then you go around the tree with your line, around the tree, and then you make another kink like that. It's easier to do one-handed now, and you put it through the big hole, and over, come on fingers, over that post. And that's how you set it up. And then you go and do the other side, and then you can start tightening it up. Actually all there is to it. Once you've got it linked onto your ridgeline, and you take a round the tree and through the big hole and over the notch, you can pull it against the tree. You see how I'm pulling it and it's winching, and you're getting a tightening effect every time you winch it through, because that line loops over itself and catches in that little choke point. But to the other side, to get your last final bit of tension, you pull against the tree again, and it's like a winch, 3-way mechanical winch. You pull against this and it pulls against the tree and itself again. Final bit of tension, you pull against the tarp tensioner and it locks itself again. If you want to lock it off even more, you make another kink up through the big hole, over the little post, and pull it tight again, and that is nice and rigid. Go, my tarp's up. Strange putting one of these 3x3s up again after using the 4.5 metre. You can see why I needed a bigger tarp. End of the tarp's right, the end of my hammock's right there under the tarp. Barely any space to keep the rain off. Barely even covers up my drip ring. Yeah, it's really a summer tarp, the 3x3, especially when you're using a long hammock like that. But yeah, that's the 3-hole tarp tensioner. I hope that this wasn't too much of a faff and it actually showed you what you needed to know. It's really simple. Loop here, go around, loop onto the main thing and back so it lark's heads itself, twist it, and then put a kink up through here or down through here, and then loop the loop over this peg and pull it against itself towards the tree that way, and it'll tighten up. They're really handy and I like them.